Hi, welcome to Papa's Workshop. I have a entry door here that when it was installed, I think they did just about everything wrong. Well, today is time to fix it. The biggest problem that I have is there is a huge gap between the door itself and the frame, and it's making it where the catch on the lock really is not catching hardly anything. So short of taking out the door and reinstalling it, I'm just going to show you a real quick fix that will solve the problem and save a lot of money. So let's get started. Before we start today's video, I've got a real big favor. Recently, YouTube has changed their algorithms. What does that mean? That means that my videos are not being recommended as often as they used to. How do we change that? I need your help in a most urgent way to be able to like this video, share it with as many people as you can, and subscribe. By making these 3 simple changes, it really will trigger those algorithms to be able to get the recommendations back out to everyone in the woodworking community and the CNC world. So if you like the videos that I'm producing, you like my teaching methods, please subscribe, like, and share. Now, let's get back to today's video. Looking at the inside of the door, I took a tape measure and look at that. That is just about 3/8 of an inch. That's terrible. There's nothing catching that latch in that door frame. Now if I look up a little bit higher, it's the same. It's just about 3/8 of an inch. So this gap is consistent from the top all the way to the bottom. And that door lock is really doing not much good at all because it's barely catching in the door frame. It's time to get that fixed. Looking across the top of the door, it's really not much better. But over on the left-hand side, on the hinge side, there's very little gap. Actually, that's about just over 1/8 of an inch, and that's okay. But if you go back over to the other side where the door lock is, that gap actually widens. Again, you can see how poorly this door was installed. To begin this repair, I'm removing the center hinge. Now there's 3 hinges on the door, and I really don't even want to take the door down. By removing this center hinge, the door can stay up. From there, what I'm going to do is take this hinge, and I'm going to use it as a template, and I'm going to make a spacer. Now I need to make 3 of these, but I'm using the hinge itself to be able to form the template that I need. I'm also going to mark the holes for the screws because I want this shim to be as exact as I possibly can get it. Now with this done, let's head over to the bandsaw and get these 3 cut out. Now at the bandsaw, you're going to notice that I'm going to cut this a little bit large. I'm going to leave the line. The reason that I want to do that is I want to be able to take this over to the sander and sand away the line. That way this shim is going to fit exactly into the mortise on the door frame. The goal of this whole project is to shift the door to the right without interfering with anything else. At the sander, there's very little work that needs to be done. All I need to do is just lightly take this shim, touch it against the sanding disc to remove that line. And that smooths it right up, and that is going to be perfect. I am going to test fit just to make sure. When I drill these pilot holes, I don't want the bit to wander. So I'm using this scratch awl and actually marking the center of the hole so that I can put the bit directly into that little hole and the bit will not wander when I drill this pilot hole. Now I'm using a very small bit to be able to drill these holes. There we go. Now that we're all finished with drilling the pilot holes and getting these shims prepared, it's time to be able to install them. So what I want to do is use some different screws. The screws before were too short, And actually these, an 1 5/8 are still too short. What I'm going to do is go back to my bin and I'm going to get some 2.5 inch long screws to install. Now these shims just slip directly into the mortise that was already in the door frame, and then from there I can just put the hinge right back directly on top of that shim, put the screw into that pilot hole, and then from there just take the drill and screw this in. And I want this screw long enough to be able to go through the door frame into the 2x4 studs to be able to hold this door in tight, and it adds a level of security as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same process on the other 2 hinges and put those in. Now because this was the only hinge that was actually totally removed, I can't forget to put the screws back into the door itself. The other 2 hinges never had to be removed from the door. All I had to do is be able to take the hinge loose, add the shim, and put it right back into position. Now let's go back inside and take a look. Wow, what a difference. Right now we have an even gap, again from the top to bottom, and looking at the door lock, it is much, much better. If I get the tape measure out and measure this gap again, you're going to see now that that is 1/8 of an inch, and that is what we need to have there. So that's perfect. So an easy solution to a big problem. Hi everyone, thank you for watching my video today. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell next to it so you'll be notified on the different videos that I upload. Also check out the videos over here to be able to stay up to date on the happenings in my shop. So again, thank you for watching my videos.